give us a heads up, Joe, whenever you're ready. Okay. Okay, it's my absolute pleasure for the 5th year in a row to welcome Girls Government to Queen's Park. We have some amazing young women here who have picked 2 very interesting topics. They're going to talk a little bit about those, and I just want to introduce them. To my far right, we have Caitlin, then we have Sophia, Jacqueline, and Alexander, all of whom are going to talk about their topics and about why they're here. So listen up. Caitlin.
Hi, my name is Caitlin, and I'm from Annette Street Public School, and I was one of the lucky girls given the opportunity to be in Girls Government. Girls Government is a program run by Sherry DeNovo to show how interesting being a politician can be. Because of the small number of females in politics, Sherry uses this program to get more girls involved. The program consists of 2 schools that select representatives from their school to be in Girls Government. These representatives choose 2 topics to focus on throughout the year and vote on the topic they would like to focus on. This year, the 2 schools involved are Annette Street Public School and St. Cecilia's Catholic School. Together, we voted on the 2 topics of mental health and factory farming. Because everyone was so passionate about both topics, we decided to focus on both topics. So today, Annette will be speaking on behalf of mental health, and St. Cecilia's will be speaking on behalf of factory farming. Mental health has been an issue for a long time, and the girls from Girls Government feel that it is an impending issue that deserves more recognition. Recently, the government has put a large sum of money towards mental health and has started to recognize how big of an issue it is. Although we are happy that the government has begun to realize how important this topic is, we still strive for more recognition from everyone, not just the government. The vast majority of people don't realize how important mental health is. People with mental health concerns are often treated quite differently from people with medical concerns. Many people who are in prison are often there because the mental health concerns weren't addressed, often due to our lack of resources. There are not a lot of people who have been able to get treatment for their mental health concerns. As a result, some of these people may commit crimes when all they need is treatment. That's all they need, but our system makes it really hard for them to get help. Some of my friends have mental health concerns and they are only 14 years old. They have had a horrible time getting treatment for their mental health concerns, and the stereotypes and stigmas aren't fair to those with mental health concerns. People with mental health concerns aren't crazy, and they're not horrible people. People don't realize that there are people with mental health concerns all around them. Schizophrenia and ADHD, etc. aren't the only types of mental health concerns out there. Depression, anxiety, and eating disorders are all types of mental health concerns that don't always come to mind when you think of this topic. People with these concerns aren't crazy. We have to understand that there are so many different types of mental health issues affecting people today. The vast majority of people who suffer from mental health concerns just need treatment, and they can live a normal life just like everyone else. We joined Girls Government to make this change, and that's exactly what we're doing today. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Sophia, and I'm from Hyde Park Alternative School. I am one of the 8 girls who felt passionate about pursuing the topic of mental health because it can affect anyone regardless of their background or social class. We chose youth mental health in particular because some of us have a personal connection and better understanding of what kids are going through. 1 out of 5 people in Ontario are affected with a mental health challenge. Around 70% of mental illnesses start during childhood and adolescence. In Ontario, about 467,000 to 654,000 children and youth have a mental illness that will cause major distress. It affects children like no other illness because of the severity of it. If they don't get proper treatment, it will affect their education and later their future. Some possible effects of dealing with mental illnesses are difficulty in completing high school, addiction, trouble with the law, incapability to live on your own or keep a job, additional problems with health, and suicide. Serious illnesses can carry on into adulthood, affecting performance and efficiency. This will not only affect them personally, but it also concerns families, friends, colleagues, and the community as well. However, early diagnosis and treatment would result in better health and better schooling. Take depression, for example. At any given time, approximately 3 million Canadians have serious depression. Once it is recognized, help can make a difference for 80% of the people, and proper treatment can make a difference allowing them to get back to their regular activity. It's clear early detection and proper treatment can make a difference in someone's life. Unfortunately, this is not the case for many members of our society who are diagnosed with mental illness. According to CAMH, Center for Addiction and Mental Health, only 1/3 of those who need mental health services in Canada actually receive them. For children, it's only 1 in 5. That is simply not enough. We need more of a government involvement and long-term commitment. We would like to see more services available, especially for youth, so they can have easy access to diagnosis and treatments, so they can continue on with their normal life. We would also like to see at least one health specialist at every school, so people can have someone they can talk to and get the help they require. Also, we as a society need to change our views and attitude towards people with mental illnesses. It's time for change, a time for erasing the social stigma attached to mental health. Stigma is when shame or disgrace is attached to something regarded as socially unacceptable. People with mental illnesses already have enough of their own problems to worry about and have a hard time dealing with life. The additional stress related to discrimination and exclusion can further jeopardize their mental well-being. The stigma surrounding mental health is the worst of its kind because people are being judged and ostracized for something they can't control. According to the Canadian Medical Association, only 49% of Canadians would say they would socialize with a friend who has a serious mental illness. In fact, only 50% of Canadians would tell friends or coworkers that they have a family member with mental illness, compared to 72% who would discuss diagnosis of cancer or 68% diabetes in the family. If we are better educated, people with mental illnesses will no longer have to suffer in silence. Thank you.
My name is Jacqueline Payton, and I'm a grade 8 student at St. Cecilia School in Toronto. I would like to begin by commending the exemplary work of my fellow peers of Girls Government on the topic of mental health. They have clearly explained the various reasons why it is imperative to bring increased awareness and advocacy to this issue that has touched the lives of so many Canadians and their families. Today, along with my classmate Alexandra Lucchese, we will discuss an alternative subject that also directly affects the lives of all Canadians, factory farming. A practice that is now commonly used all around the world, factory farming subjects farm animals to inhumane living conditions as to achieve high output and increased production. The topic of factory farming was first introduced to our grade 7 class as a part of a geography unit we worked on. As we watched various videos and learned more about the conditions of factory farming in comparison to free-range farming methods, we were appalled that such farming practices were allowed in developing countries such as Canada. The more we learned about factory farming practices, the more we were encouraged as young activists to take a stand and advocate for changes in legislation that would end the cruel treatment of farm animals and guarantee food safety standards for all Canadians. Today we would like to propose alternative methods of farming in Canada. We would like to use the Model Farm project proposed by the World Society of the Protection of Animals in Asia and Latin America as one example of how more humane farming systems could be maintained. The model provides a system that is not only kinder to animals and the environment, but which more importantly has direct benefits to human health. According to the WSPA, these humane farming practices are also cost-effective and do create a sustainable and safe food supply. We can no longer continue to turn a blind eye to the harsh consequences related to factory farming. Crammed living conditions, artificial growth rates, and diseases caused by unnatural livelihood go against basic standards for farming set in our country. My classmate Alexandra Lucchese will further elaborate on the subject.
Good morning. My name is Alexandra Lucchese, and I am from St. Cecilia Catholic School. Today, I would like to present some specific facts about factory farming. Ontario's Ministry of Agriculture and websites such as Eat Right Ontario promotes nutrition and healthy eating. They present various articles on safe food handling, the benefits of using hormones and antibiotics to help reduce the threat of disease in food products, as well as different food inspection programs. However, there is no mention of the use of factory farming practices in Canada and the callous conditions under which our food supply is produced. The rules under which factory farms are run need immediate reforms. According to the regulations of the Health of Animals Act, broiler chickens may be legally transported up to 36 hours without being fed or given water. Another problem lies in the appalling living conditions of animals on such farms. Thousands of cattle can be confined to one feedlot, and it is also reported by various food and animal safety organizations that chickens have less than the size of a computer mouse pad of space to move around in. This is all in addition to the brutal and cruel methods in which such animals are slaughtered by. Such methods range from cruel beatings to stunning the animal. It is also reported that animal body parts such as the pig's tail and chicken feet can be severed without the use of anesthesia. In 2001, Agriculture Minister Ernie Hardman announced that following the Walkerton tragedy, the province would toughen legislation on factory farms. The proposed changes were aimed to help protect Ontario's water quality and public safety by setting stricter controls on concentrated livestock operations and in the disposal of dead farm animals. This is a perfect example of how tragedy and human life comes at the expense of massive agribusiness operations. Not only are there environmental health risks for humans, but the primary practices of factory farming breed sick and depressed animals that often carry diseases and illnesses that place human health in grave danger. It can be argued that new legislation